Hello everybody. So I thought I'll give a quick view of what all I'm carrying on my first attempt to Chadar track. This is not my first winter in Ladakh. I've done few trips in winter, so I pretty much have experienced the extreme weather that I'm going to see. I guess the thing which gets worst is you're going to walk on a frozen river, which is Zanskar, and you're going to stay inside a tent or a cave overnight. That's going to make things very interesting. Other than that, I think I don't see much of a difference between doing a normal winter trip to Ladakh and doing a Chadar track, because as per the experienced trackers, it's not really a tough track. It's more of a mental fitness that you need to ensure that you can bear the weather. Okay, so let's start with what I have for my hands. Starting with these two. This is a pair of gloves I've been using in my last two winter trips to Ladakh. I guess I've managed with just this set of gloves in the last two trips. It's pretty warm. I have actually done a lot of photography wearing these gloves all the time. It's a thinsulate glove from 3M, pretty warm, double layer. There's a fleece inside, but the only problem is it's not waterproof. While I'm just doing the photography, I don't expect too much of my hand getting wet, but I think in Chadar track things will be different. There are high chances of hands getting wet. So this time I'm using a double layer of gloves. I have a base layer, which is a fleece layer, and the thumb and the finger has got a non-slippery layer, so you can actually use it to click pictures. This can be on my hands all the time while I am on track, or maybe when I am sleeping. But when I need a layer of extra warmth and waterproofing, because this one is not a waterproof glove, I have another one. I intentionally bought an extra large pair of gloves from Trackmates. This can go over the fleece gloves, making it a double layer hand security from the cold. I was looking for a mitten instead of the glove, because I know mittens are much warmer, but unfortunately I cannot find the waterproof mittens. Either they are just too costly right now, or they're not good enough. So I guess I'm going to survive with these two pair of gloves as my primary gloves, and this as a backup, just in case if I lose my glove, or one of my glove gets wet. So hopefully these stuff will keep my hands warm during the track. For the head, I've got a well tested, well trusted pair of caps. This is something I've been using in all my winter trips. I'm still thinking about taking one of these too, but this one is pretty warm. I think I can actually wear this in my next trip to Bakal Lake, where I'm expecting minus 40, minus 50. But I think the only problem with this is pretty tight. It doesn't extend, which is like okay for some. I'm fine because I've used this, so this is good for me. This is one. Actually keeps my ears and everything quite warm. And I have a similar one, which is not as warm as this stuff, but this is pretty soft. It's good on your head, on your ear, and it's warm. So yeah, I think considering if I have space, I'm going to keep both. But in all probability, one of these will go away, and an extra layer of this balaclava, just in case if it just gets too warm, and when I'm walking and I want to cover my mouth or nose, I'm going to use this. In my jacket, the cap, which is part of the jacket, is quite warm enough, so if I'm walking and I have this on along with my jackets, the down jackets cap, I think that in itself should be more than sufficient. Just in case if I want to walk without my down jacket, I'm going to use this as the extra layer of protection on my head. So yeah, these are the caps again. These are something I've been using for almost 4 years now, so nothing new that I've purchased, was lying around with me for quite some time. Okay, for my feet again, this is something I've collected over last few years. I've got plenty of warm socks. There are plenty of them right now, and I've collected those over the year. So I'm going to show you a few, which is interesting. Rest all are like any other typical warm socks. So these are really thick army type woolen socks. I've been using it for a couple of years. Generally, I just keep these safe for all my winter trips or tracks. These comes in a pair of inner layer, which is this as a polyester inner layer, and an outer layer of thick wool, so that actually keeps your feet dry and keeps it warm. So I have double pair of these, which is my primary socks. The only problem is when you wear both of these, you definitely need a pair of shoe which is of one size larger, because if you have this, will actually increase your foot size by at least 1 point or 2 point for sure. So you need to make sure that you have shoes which is at least a point higher than what you wear, or else you will have tough time fitting your feet along with these socks inside your shoes. And then some other woolen socks. These are our normal tracking socks. You can get that from any tracking shops across India. I think it's available anywhere. But yes, I think for winter, my experience says any warm socks, as warm it is, the single layer doesn't work. You have to have dual layer of socks. So if you wear a nylon or a polyester inside and a woolen outside, your feet might still be a little cold, but I think while you're walking, you should be fine. So yeah, these are some of the socks I have. So on my warm inners, I've got these three warm lowers. These are like two of them are a mixture of wool and polyester, so they're pretty warm. In any warm trip, or any cold trip, any air trip which you're doing in a cold area, should be fine. I think these two kind of warm inners, lowers, works well. Just in case if you expect to go beyond -10 or -15, like what I expect in Chadar track, I've bought this merino wool. It's 100% merino wool. With this on, all I need is my track pant, which is again a form filled track pant, and that's all I need. So in my last trip to Ladakh in winter, I was wearing just this, and the track pant, which I'm going to show you in a while, and I was pretty much warm enough for the whole trip. It's just that I'm keeping a few as an extra, as a replacement, and then just in case if I feel really cold, I can layer them up as two, because this is tight fit. I mean, if not tight fit, it's like correct fit, and these are little higher size, a number higher, so I can wear this as inner and this as a second layer, and I'm good. Okay, on my vest again, I've got the same kind of stuff, two mix of wool and polyester, but I've got 100% merino wool this time. I've tried it recently, pretty warm. Again, if you wear this as a base layer and a fleece, which I'm going to show you, I've used that fleece for last 5 years, because this is something is part of my body now, and a down jacket. That's all you need. You're all set for this. So these are three warm inners for your waist or for your upper part of the body. You've got two small polyester. It's 100% polyester t-shirts, which I'm going to wear as my base layer. Then a few other stuff. So yeah, these are on the clothes. Got these, gaiters. These are with me for quite some time. I haven't used them much. Only when there is a lot of snow and you want to walk, or you have to walk over the snow. While I always avoid that, I'm going to use these as a protection to ensure that the snow doesn't goes inside my foot and doesn't wet. While my pant is quite waterproof, so it should be okay. But just as a protection, I'm going to take this. On the outer layer, again, I've got some well trusted stuff which I've used for the last 3-4 years on some of the winter trips in Ladakh, Kashmir, or Himachal Pradesh, or these areas of India. Again, so this is my warm pant. This is a waterproof print. I've used this in some of the monsoon tracks. This is quite firm. It is quite airy. So just in case if I have to, open it up, bring some fresh air inside, I can zip it up and then zip it down and then can zip it back. So yeah, this is something I've used quite a lot of time. I can, because it's a bit larger size, so I can wear it on any other pant which I'm wearing to give me waterproofing and just an extra layer of pant. In a temperature around 0 degree, this with the merino wool inner lower should work absolutely fine. Okay, on the lower, my main pant is this. I've used this for so many trips on winter. It's a waterproof, foam-filled warm pant. It's got a double layer inside, and it's a synthetic foam. While I would have loved to have a down-filled pant, but I think this is good enough for me. It has already started showing its age. It's breaking or tearing from some places, but I think for this trip, this should do the job. So as I was saying, this pant, which is foam-filled, along with my merino wool lower, will be my main outer layer. Okay, I keep this sweater or a small jacket just as an extra layer. I don't think I'll need it, but I'll see. Maybe I need to drop this from the list. This is something I've used plenty of time. This is my base fleece. I bought this 6 years back from Hong Kong. This is from a company, Kailas, I guess. Yeah, Kailas. Yeah, pretty warm. Again, it's a double layer and it's a reversible. So if I am on a trip which is 10 days long or 20 days long, I don't have to worry about it getting dirty, because if one of the layer goes bad or dirty, I can just quickly turn it around and wear the other layer. It's pretty warm. In one of my last trip to Ladakh, I was standing on the frozen Pangso lake taking pictures just with this and a warm inner layer, and that was more than sufficient. That's when there was no wind on the lake. With wind pretty high, pretty strong, this might not work. So then I have a last layer of my jacket, which is my down jacket. This is something that has worked for me for all my winter trips. This is a waterproof down jacket. This has worked very well. I was talking about the cap. This is the cap, and it's pretty warm, like any other down jacket, I think. And then it has got a neck constraint, so it actually covers your neck completely. And again, because it's down and waterproof, It's pretty light, it's not that heavy, but of course it's not as light as any other normal jackets. But I think I'm going to keep this because this is something I've been wearing on all my winter trips. So yeah, that's my main jacket for this trip or for another trip, with the fleece as the inner and a sweater just in case required. Otherwise, I'm going to use 3 layers for this, and then my 2 lower pants. That's on the clothes. Okay. On some other stuff, I've got these with me for quite some time. These are hand warmers, just in case if your hand, start feeling cold. You can insert these in your gloves. They claim it to be, it remains warm for 8 hours to 6 hours, but in my experience, it gives you warmth for 3 to 4 hours max. So I've got these for hand and for foot, and then some standard warmers. You can use it for hand or foot. These are like chemical warmers, generally not recommended for use because of course they are not these are not environment friendly. But yeah, I use these only when I'm in extreme weather, and I am doubtful that I'll be able to handle the temperature at some point of time. So I just keep these as a an extra layer, an extra warmth. Some of the food, I generally don't carry too much of a food because while I know Ladakh is quite extreme place in India, but I guess this place has picked up quite nicely. So and I'm not going to be that extreme anyway, and I'm not tracking alone. I'm going to be part of a group which is handled by a company, so they are carrying a lot of food with them for the whole group. But still, just to munch, few things. I generally carry some chocolates, some nutrition bars, and there's something, of course, in any Indian household you will find these always lying somewhere there in your kitchen. These are cashews, almond, and some other stuff. There's no harm, just quickly zip it around in some of these Ziploc, and yeah, can give you some extra layer. I keep a 1 liter thermal bottle. This is something which is very very interesting bottle. If you fill a boiling water in it, let's say in the morning, early morning, this will keep the water hot, very very hot, till the end of the day. And in the next morning, if you drink it, it'll still be lukewarm. If not hot, it'll be lukewarm. So yeah, it has got a cycle of 24 hours if you fill it with the boiling water. Generally, I don't fill it with the boiling water. I fill it with the hot water so that I can drink it. I don't have to mix it with the cold water. So generally, I fill it with the water which is warm enough to drink. And then as it gets empty, I find a place to get the warm water. In the track, I don't know how will I do it, so I'll find a solution for it. Yeah, so this is something again goes with me everywhere. It's a Leatherman all-purpose tool. Works very well. Especially this has helped. This particular guy has helped me a lot when I am stuck with my filter on the lens. I'm sure a lot of you might have experienced the filters stuck in the lens when you're in the cold weather doing photography, and then your hands are numb enough to not give the enough traction to rotate. Then I use these to rotate those when they're stuck. I know it's a tricky task, so I don't recommend anybody to try it on. So or you try it on your own. Don't quote me if I said I use this. Okay. Yeah. What else? Yeah. Of course. This. You don't want to wash your back or your bum when it's -20 with a cold water. So yeah, you will need these for sure. This is something again goes in all my trips. If it's a leisure trip, personal trip, track, or my business trip, this is a small sewing kit which has got some threads, needles, extra buttons, a small scissor. Pretty handy when you want to quickly stitch something torn off. Okay. Um, a small knife. I just use it to cut wood as a safety. Though I never required it. I think I've used it only once to cut a watermelon. Yeah, I think I'll keep it. I hope I'll just keep it for the watermelons. This is my headlight. It's little heavier than the normal headlight, but I generally prefer to carry this one because it's a high lumen headlight. It's a 900 lumen, I guess, and it's got an extra button to increase the lumen just for the sake of something interesting. The battery goes in a separate battery pocket, and it's got a USB socket to charge your phone, your GoPro, or something else. It uses high mAh battery. This thing has worked for me quite nicely. The only downside is that it's pretty heavy, but yeah, I'll still use it because it's a multi-purpose and it's a waterproof. I guess most of these headlights are waterproof, so no something specific there. But yeah, and then the other thing which is interesting is that it has got a diffuser on top of this. So I've used this quite a lot of time when I am doing the night photography and I want to illuminate the subject. Like once I was doing a photography of Milky Way, and I used a bike and the rider in front which I wanted to illuminate. So I used this in the diffuse mode. I flashed it while I opened my shutter for the Milky Way. I flashed it on the bike and the rider. So that was quite interesting, and that was again in one of the extreme Himalayas of India. Okay, yeah, that's pretty much it on the miscellaneous stuff. Before I jump on to my photographic gear, this is something goes with me all the time. That's my Yellow Peaks mug, my blogs mug, part of my trips, pretty much on all the trips, winter, summer, or even if a day trip. Photography gear. It's not that a big list. I think I started with huge list couple of years back. I have reduced it to very limited gears, which is restricted to mostly the landscape or nature photography now, as I don't do other form of photography as of now. Yeah, on the tripod front, I have two which I use most of the time. The Gorilla Pod, of course, is an interesting piece of equipment I have. This is the top end of what Joby have to offer. It can actually manage my biggest body and the biggest lens quite easily if I fit it properly on a stone or any object. I use that sometime as my selfie stick for GoPro. Works very well. Then I have this tripod I've been using for quite some time. It's a Manfrotto carbon fiber tripod 055CXPRO4 blah blah blah. I don't know the meaning of that number. And I have a ball head. I don't even care which model it is, but it works very well for me. Except that the biggest challenge with this tripod, I think I saw this somewhere in another video, is that this extension is bad, very very bad, because it reduces the movement of this ball head when you are trying to take the pano, because this button, if not set properly, stucks in this. Other than that, I think it has done its job. Despite the fact that it's a carbon fiber, it's not that light. I think the whole unit itself along with the ball head should be around 2 kg. So that what it eats up in my checking bag. These are my standard straps. I use cross shoulder straps for both my cameras. So the one is a neoprene one, pretty interesting stuff. I've used and the other one is from the Black Rapid. So yeah, these are standard. So I have two cameras and then two straps for both the cameras. This is something I've got recently. This is the Lee filter setup for my Nikon 14-24 lens, as it needs some extra setup. It's not, so basically you just cannot, I am sure a lot of people know that, you just cannot use a screw in filter adapter because there's no screw, it's a bulbous lens. I'll show that to you. So Lee recently launched a new system for 14-24 f2.8 lens and for some other lens. So I've used this for some time. I haven't used this extensively, and I'm not very hopeful of using this, at least on my Chadar track, because I doubt I'll be in a condition to do all that setup. But a few days in my hand after the track where I am planning to use this. Then I have two filter. I have one quick stopper. Okay, so that's a square polarizer. That's the only two filter I use, and I have the Lee quick stopper, which is something I've used a lot in past. I had the coking filter system previously, and I had no complaints about that. It's just that I think I've used some filters from Lee, and I love the quality that I get. So that's what I'm going to use. Then I use Hoya CPL that goes on my 7200. It has got a 77 mm filter size. Some extra batteries. These are not reusable or rechargeable. These are use and throw batteries. That's something I'm going to use for my some of my other stuff. I'll show you later on. My GoPro. That's my GoPro, and this is Hero 4 Silver Edition that I've recently got, and the charger with extra batteries. So it has got two batteries in it, and an additional battery. So there are three batteries. I think the batteries will be one pain point for this trip because it will be cold, and I'm going to lose the charge quite quickly, like in any other winter trip. So this is something I have to be very careful where exactly I'm going to store my batteries. Most of the time I'm going to keep extra batteries inside my down jacket, which is near my body, so that it remains warm. And just in case if my camera shows out of battery, in my experience I've seen that there is still some battery. If you take that battery out, just put it in some warm place in your jacket, it retains its charge back. So that's some jugglery you have to do during the track. Cleaning kit. This is something, a remote trigger, wireless remote trigger. When I just want to put my camera. This is something I've tried quite a lot of time. I put my camera just outside my tent's zipper, main zipper gate, and I stay inside the tent and just use the trigger to take the night photographs or astrophotography when it's cold. I don't know how this will happen this time. Some extra batteries for my camera. I have 5 of them fully charged. I'm pretty sure for the 8 days or 9 days I'm on track, there's no way I'm going to charge. There is absolutely nothing that I can use to charge my battery. So these are the insurance to get the pictures. Some extra cards in it. Basically I'm trying to put everything in a Ziploc bag. That's how I do. Some of the clothes will go into the Ziploc bag as well. So these are my cards. I've got 4 extra compact flash cards, and then there are a few SD cards beneath. So it's a pretty nice case from Transcend. I think it's a waterproof, can carry 8 SD and 4 compact flash. Okay. That's the wireless remote for GoPro. Some additional wires and triggers for long exposure. So I've got this. This is this one is from Yongnuo. I've used it for quite some time for my older cameras, Nikon cameras. But because this has got its own timer, start, stop, number of exposure you want to take, you can actually program that, and then start a long exposure or a time lapse. Then I have a normal Nikon trigger. This is from Fortix, but just a trigger for long exposures when we are using a bulb mode. I think, and then some other wires that again goes into the clock bag. For the track, I'm going to carry two bodies and three lenses. So my main body is Nikon D810, and I've been using for D800 for quite some time now. So these are my two bodies I'm going to use during the track, and then my main lens, which I've been using for quite some time. This is Nikon 14-24 f2.8. I guess one of the sharpest lens. A lot of people swear by this lens, so it's an interesting lens. That's just a gem of a lens from Nikon. 70-200. This is a VR2 lens, f2.8. I think this is with me for last 4 years. It has seen almost every place I've been through. So yeah, my companion for almost all my trips. The other lens I'm going to use is the Samyang fisheye 12mm f2.8. Pretty interesting, pretty cheap lens, pretty sharp. I've used it for a couple of times recently. I haven't tried it much. I hope to try this recently in this. I hope to try this in my upcoming trip. Pretty solid lens. I love this lens for the money you pay for this. I carry this teleconverter with me all the time. This goes with 70-200, to give you extra focal length. It's a 1.7x, so eventually I get 340 mm when I use it with my 70-200, which is good enough for me, as I don't do bird photography or wildlife photography. Yeah. Okay. And then last but not the least, this goes in sometime when I am alone and I want to enjoy some music. So it's a JBL small speaker, pretty nice for a close place. So for my shoes, these are the pair which I'm using for quite some time now, almost 2 years. I haven't really given them some tough tasks till now. Mostly some small tracks. So this is something I'm going to use. These are Solomon, I think Solomon Quest GTX4, GT4, I don't remember the exact model. Yeah, but along with this, got some, this is something I got recently for the traction, just in case if I have to. There'll be a lot of walk over the ice. So I've got these as the layer which goes under the shoes. These and some of these stuff which will give you some traction and save you from falling, slipping over the ice. While a lot of people have recommended that, I think you should be using the gum boots that you get from Leh, pretty cheap, 300 rupees a pair. And last but not the least, the bag. This is something I'm going to try for the first time, so it's tricky because I hate to try something absolutely new when I'm into some tough situations. But what I've done is I've tried the setup for a couple of times at my home, just putting my gears in and out to see. So most of the time I've been using some proper camera bag, but the challenge with most of these camera bags are they're not built to carry the gears along with some of the other stuff. Mostly have to use or make some space in your bag itself. What I've done is this time I picked up a 40-liter backpack, and I've used one of my gear compartment to store my gears. I can pretty much quickly get in and get out. This is, maybe you can say, a replica of what Rover Pro 45-liter bag has to offer, but I saw that as a overpriced bag. There's no use of I know they are built like tank. They built it specifically for photographers, but for the price they charge, I don't think it's worth. So I thought I'll try this out as a makeshift arrangement. So I have this compartment which I've used from one of my smaller low pro bags. You can actually you can actually put all the gears in it, and this can come out completely. This can come out from here, and then this is how it is. Alright, so you can actually, when you're not using it, you can actually put this in, and then when you want to carry some stuff, just put it, just insert it from the lower pocket of the bag, and then you're in. What I plan to do is I'm going to put some extra protection under it. I have plenty of those separators that you get from within your bag. That's something I plan to do, and then you have plenty of stuff here in it. You can use this. So the way it goes for the track is, I'm not going to carry all my stuff with me. The idea is, maybe either I'm going to leave it at lay to use it when I'm back, or I'm going to hand over some stuff to Porter. But this is my primary bag, which I'm going to use for most of the time when I'm walking myself. Okay, so that's pretty much it for now. So let's see how all this works during the track. I know it's a lot of stuff, but I hope this is good enough for the track. Thank you very much for watching.